I guess it's time for another Olivetti. Just received this one, and it's supposed to be obviously a laptop. I haven't got much information about it, so let's just briefly, oh, that one is yellow. Let's check it out. I can see the name is called, or obviously Olivetti M211V. Maybe that's for victory, right? No. Let's see if I can figure out how to get it out. There we go. Nice. Okay, very yellow. There's more in the back. So, okay. Pockets. Oh, power supply. Cords. Empty. Empty. Okay. Seems to be a nice bag. Let me take this to the side and let me then arrange the camera, and let's have a twirl around this new laptop that I just received. So I received this laptop, and this, the person who gave it to me told me that it doesn't work. So there we go. First, we probably need to understand the power supply and test if this one works, if we ever want to hook some power up to it. Secondly, we most likely need to find the battery department. It's heavy, so I'm assuming all of this in the back must be battery. I don't know. But okay, cool. Let's take this to the side and let me briefly, talk about the computer as I see it. First of all, it's extremely yellow, like really yellow. There are two clips or buttons in the front that you hook in, and then you can open this one up. How big is the screen? It is 27 centimeters, maybe 26 and a half. I don't know what that is in inches, but it's tiny. So what is this? Is this 9 inch? I don't know. Who cares? The nice logo is up here, Olivetti M211V. Until we know why V is there, I'll say victory. No. Okay, cool. I spent actually 10 minutes searching on Google for this specific computer. I didn't find more or less anything. The small information I got is that this is supposed to be an 286, but it's supposed to be the C version, so it's optimized for low power. And it should be running at 12 megahertz, so that's it. And the computers I've seen are with 1 megabyte, so it's a tiny computer. I don't know. Yeah, it's very stiff, very brutal, bad keyboard. But nevertheless, I see 10 functions keys up here, which is weird. There should be 12, right? It's an 80. Oh, I see. Sorry. I know you can't see it, but actually on F1 and F2 on the side or down here, there's F11 and F12. So, and here there's a function key. So I'm assuming if I press function and F1, that means F11, and F2 means F12. I must assume, right? Contrast and brightness up here. I have no clue whether or not this is TFT screen, is a color, what is it, we'll see. But it's supposed not to be running, so maybe the screen is broken. There's a nice carrying handle in the front, which is, oh, it's heavy. There we go. So that's that. On this side, I see a 3.5 inch floppy disk drive. I see a volume nut, which seems to be for loudspeaker, a PS2 in and a keyboard in. The keyboard in is not PS2. This is a weird plug, so I think this is a special plug just for a numeric keyboard that you maybe can have on the side. It doesn't look like a, it's definitely not a PS2. In the back, I see something with the lights and DC voltage in. So the power supply must be going in here. It seems to. Yes, there's something we can open up here. What do we have inside here? I see a COM port, and here it says RS. What does it say? Yeah, RS282. Is it? I can't even read. It's so tiny. Yeah, 282. So that's a normal COM port. This is a VGA. This is a printer port. I see an expansion slot. Well, at least it seems like an expansion slot. I don't know where the card would be though. If we take it to the other side, I see a turn on and off power button here. And something here. Is this for a fan or? Oh, maybe this is a hard disk compartment. So maybe this comes with a hard disk. So maybe there's a hard disk in this area and the floppy disk is then over here. You see, if I turn it down, I can see here the marking. It says Olivetti model, so that's the casing model. XP1023V. There's a huge serial number, 2A1075620002. And it here states 12 to 17 volt DC 40 watts. So that's nice to know. Let's verify what the power supply says. This one says 17 volt DC output. And it's, wow, yeah, okay, be careful. This is center negative. So we need to test this one. Okay, cool. I don't think I can open this up. This seems like an expansion unit thing. Maybe this is where you had the expansion slots. I don't know, that's on the other side. And there's something up here, which I can open, okay. Doesn't say anything. I will assume, I don't know. I will assume you can have an memory expansion card put in here. We'll have to investigate once we have opened this computer up. But there we go. I see lots of screws and we need to dig into this. So with this twirling around, I will take the camera even closer too. Let's have a look at this one and let's see how we get into this. Can we turn it on even? So stay tuned. I have the voltmeter ready. Let's first see if this one actually is working. Okay, I have a plug over here. And if we plug it in, I heard a click. And I'm actually seeing a green light lighting up. So it seems that the power supply is working. And it was DC and it was center negative. So the black one goes in here. This one goes on the other side. 17.67. So power supply is perfect. That is nice. Shall we try? I have no clue. Let's just hook it up. Power is in. There's a power button on this side over here, so let me turn it on. I can hear something is spinning up and something is saying some noises. But nothing is happening to the screen. Maybe I need to do something on contrast. I see something. Oh, hold on. I can't really see, but I can see something is going on the screen. I see some text, but it's very, very dim. And no matter what I do with the brightness control and the contrast, it's like not doing anything. This is the best I can do. Let me unhook the camera and see if I can help you see it too. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's very, very dim. Almost can't see anything, but I can see resident diagnostics revision 1.03, and CPU is an 80 C286, and some checksum, and it's like it's warming up. It's like it's slowly getting better and better. This is weird. So the screen needs to somehow warm up. I'm sorry, the camera doesn't seem to be able to focus on it. So brightness control, I'm assuming you can see something. So this one doesn't do anything, but this one seems to be able, oh, it's booting into the BIOS. I can see BIOS. So as you used to see on the Olivetti, so this is 1 for USA, 2 for UK, 3 for Italiano, 4 for Deutsch, 5 for France, and 6 for Espanol. Okay, nice. But definitely the screen is super, super bad. Like really, really bad. And I can't do much about it. That is, okay. Yeah, nah. Okay. Okay, so maybe the computer's working. Well, it seems to be working. So that was a nice quick one, right? See you in the next video. Bye. No, I'm sorry. I think, what should we do with it? It's working. I was aiming to just tear it all apart and look into it and see what's inside it. You know what? We'll do it anyway. We know it's working, but let's just for the fun of it, tear it down. I obviously should, oh wow, it's so bad at focusing today. Come on, camera. There we go. It doesn't seem to be dirty as much, but it's really discolored. It's yellow, like crazy, right? Okay, hold on. I think the first thing I'll do, let me think, where is it? I have a flat screen up there for VGA. So let me put this to the table and hook it in the back, which we saw down here, right? So, and let me hook it into the VGA. And let's see if we see something on that. I can very briefly see that I think this key, F10, together with function, is the one that you turn the external screen on. I think so. Or maybe it's this one. This is a snail. So does this one mean there are like two CPU speeds? You can have a fast mode and slow mode? I don't know. Sadly, I cannot find any documentation at all for this one. So we will have to figure it out as we go along. But okay, enough talk. Let me try to set up the VGA external monitor. So let me very briefly explain what I'm aiming to do. I see some screws all over the place. So 2 in the front, 1, 2, 3, 4 up here, and a 5th one there. And is there any screws inside here? There's no screws in here, so this can maybe be like this. Yeah, I think the first thing we should concentrate on is the battery, actually. If we have a look, this is saying power, this is an icon for battery, and it points this way, so I think something here can be, oh, there we go. So this can be taken off. And I think there we have a battery. There we go. 12 volt DC. Let's put it up here. So this is kind of like the battery. I don't know what's in here. It's fairly heavy still. I see a screw there. Okay, so let me unscrew those screws in here. I think I'm gonna take this screw off. Yes, that's it. Let's try that. So these were the screws. 5 long ones and 2 short ones. This came from the battery department. So what else is there? I don't see any more other screws. I see screws here. I must assume this is the hard disk compartment. How do we get this one off? Let me briefly look in there. Okay, I see. So I think this is like this. Yep. There we go. Definitely a hard disk in here. Is it the same on the other side? It seems so. Or maybe not. Yep, same. Floppy disk drive, obviously. Yeah. How do we get into it? I need to somehow... yeah. Okay, so now this is loose. All this casing up here, which goes here. There must be another screw somewhere. I feel a dimp up here. I feel a dimp up here. And when I lift this up, I can feel that it's like this area here goes, yeah. So there is most likely, yeah, I see it down there. Shouldn't use a screwdriver. You should use something in plastic, but I don't have anything at hand. So this makes this one. Is there one over here? Nope. I don't think that there's anything on this side over here. Nope, it's nothing. So there's definitely something, and when I do this, I see it's bending down here. So I will assume underneath this. Let's put this back. If I can take this off. Let me very briefly just see if I can without... I need something sharper. Yeah. It's 28 degrees outside today, so the computer is relatively hot, which means that even though I can feel this glue on here, but because it's been so hot, we don't need to heat this one up, it seems. There's nothing happening. Hold on, something. Okay, that's light. You can't see anything, sorry. So obviously there's a light indicator for power, light indicator for something which I think is when we turn on the external screen. So these two, I see it, it's coming, it's here. There's another light, I don't feel anything more. Let me just briefly see if there's a... Yes, there's a screw in there. It's definitely unscrewed. Does this now lift up? Yes, it does. Oh, wow. I need to be careful about cabling and stuff. I see, oh, okay. So what I see is, let me check the handle inside. I see that what seems to be, I'm not sure you can see, this cable here is going here, it's sitting, okay, I hope you can see stuff. So this cable seems to be going to the monitor or the screen. So I can unhook it here, and just to clarify, there's a red ribbon on this side, and that's over here, just for my insanity when I need to put it back. So that's the one I'm talking about. What's going on over here? This is down there. That's definitely power supply stuff, regulation or something. I hope you get all of this. Okay, and there's a lot of cabling going to that too. Can I? Let me go back and turn it around. Don't want to break anything, right? Like this. Can we tilt it over? Not really. Okay. So red is still on this side. Red over here, still on this side. There we go. Okay. There's another cable where red is on the other side. Okay, this one is absolutely for the small fan. I see a small fan in here. This one is the on and off. This one is power from the battery. Okay, so fan, on and off, and power from battery. And the last one, I cannot see what that is, but we can take it off, maybe, or not? Yeah. I'm sorry you can't see it, but let me just so I know. Green is this one way, brown is over there. Let's see if we can lift this one out. I'm not sure. Let me find a small screwdriver. And it's out. Okay, wow. That is tricky. Okay, I can't tell you what. So this one over here, let me see if it's in focus actually. Yes, it is. So this one is battery, comes from battery. This one up here is the on and off. That one was the fan. Don't know what that is good for, but there's a green, yellow, orange, red, and brown. And then we have this one. I don't know, but this seems to be, something must be for all of this that we have. All of, no, not these, because these are going, these are up here. So let me, hold on. So no, there's nothing here because that's all over there. Okay, so I don't know what all of this is. We'll figure it out later. Okay. So definitely power supply regulator. And the reason the screen is bad could be something related to this, or the screen is just burned out, most likely. But the question was, how do we get into the hard disk? That was over here. I need to unscrew something in the back, I think, yeah. We have 4 screws down here. Let me just unscrew these. I don't know, can I just, no, I cannot just pull in it. I need somehow to, what? To take this out, which seems to have a screw here. Because I think the keyboard is loose. So if I unscrew a single screw down here, there are so many different kinds of screws in this computer. This is gonna be a nightmare to get it back. Let me just see if this is, there must be a screw on the other side. There is. It's gonna be a nightmare to pull all this together. Okay, let's see. Okay. So this is a 2-ribbon cable going to the board. And I think it's time for me, I found the battery. It's time for me to get my glasses on. The batteries are here. I can't show you yet. Let me, Yeah, so these ribbons, you need to unhook them, and then I'm assuming you can just take them out. Yeah. There we go. So that should be one keyboard. Really sorry, but this is a crappy keyboard. Let me find my to pull one key out. I found it. It was on the floor. Okay, so let's take out a key. Holy. Okay. I don't know what you call this type of keys, but these are the crappy ones. So this is the inside, and this is the outside. And if you have a look on the inside compared to maybe from there to there, look how yellow it is. So there's no like spring plunger. There's this rubber thingy that goes inside, and when you then push down on the key, this is the only spring mechanism that you get out of it, and there's nothing else. So this goes in there, and this goes in there. These keyboards are very light, but also extremely crappy. I need to take all of this off. I need to, because I just want to rinse it down and clean it if I can. So let's take this to the side for now and see if we need to dig into this one. I just want to get the hard disk out. That's the goal, to see what type of hard disk it is. So the question is, how do we get into this? Okay, I don't know. I think this is for the hard disk or the IDE. So let's take this off, and there must be more cabling. I need to look. Yeah, that's way more cabling. Okay. So I think this is floppy disk, because there's another one. You can't maybe see it, but it's like in there. So this is gonna be funny. Like this. And then there's power. I don't know. So the game is for us to get rid of this shielding, because the hard disk doesn't plop out. There was some connection in the back, so we need to figure out how to get the shielding off. This is not funny anymore. I think it's because we need to take off the floppy disk also, in order for the shielding to get off. Let's try that first. So definitely need to get some of the cables off. Yay! This looks like an expansion module somehow, but let's take all this to the side. And let's unscrew these 4 screws for the floppy disk. It seems to be the same as for the hard disk over there. Something is happening. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. So hard disk over here, and floppy disk on the other side. The floppy disk drive is very special, because it must be getting power from this connector, because there's no separate power connection. The hard disk is getting its power from this. Yep, there we go. So, oh dear. we have a corner hard disk. Corner CP3024. Does it say anything besides that? No, not really. So give me a second, let me look this one up. And I'm back. Found some information of the hard disk. It is a 20 megabyte, so it was type 1. So I don't know why the BIOS is not accepting it at the moment. I thought maybe I should find a power supply and just see if it spins up. The nice part with these kind of hard disks are that they can be powered either by the normal what's called Molex connector over here, or by this newer type of connection, and that's what this computer is using. So I will just find a power supply, hook it up here, and see if we can get something up and running. But before that, this is getting a little bit out of hand, so I need to clean up this table because I have screws and stuff all over the place, and if I need to assemble it back again, I need to organize myself. So let me do this, find a power supply, and come back to you. Okay, everything is a little bit cleaner, well organized. I put stuff up there, and as you can see on the table up here also. So I have the power supply, I have some power here. I have, this is an ATX power supply, so I have hooked the green one, which is number, when you have this hinge, it's number 4, and the black one, which is ground, so this is the power on. If you connect these two together, you get power on an ATX power supply. Let me hook some power to the hard disk. There we go. And this should literally just turn on. It should be working because when we turn on the laptop, I heard some clicking noises from the hard disk. So let's see. Definitely hearing it seeking and it's spinning up. I don't hear that it's like broken. So I will assume the hard disk is working. So instead of putting this together and figuring out whether or not it's worked, let's find a computer and install it in a computer. Let me find a motherboard and see if we can hook this up. So I shall be back once again. Okay, this is the setup. I have the Olivetti M211V. You can watch it somewhere up there if you want to see me going through that one. I hooked the hard disk into the motherboard, put some power on it. I also have the floppy DOS boot disk, so we can boot in DOS. I'm going to turn the computer on and wait for us to come into the BIOS. Once we're in the BIOS, we will configure, set the settings. That needs to be manually set to the right settings. And if this works, it should then boot on MS-DOS. And if it does that, I can verify that I have a hard disk via F-disk, for instance. And if that's up and running, we should be able to look at the hard disk. I don't know. Let's give it a go. Let me start everything up. And we can see that the computer is starting up, it's booting, it's now trying to figure out the hard disk configuration, which is corrupted. So eventually, once it's given up on that, I can move into the BIOS by pressing the space key. So let me just wait for this to, let me go into the BIOS. Once it's doing that, I can press space and then it goes to the BIOS. And in here with standard, hard disk, configure it to be a user-defined one, and I need to punch in the numbers. So the cylinders was 615. There were 4 heads. There was 0 wait states, or whatever that is. And then we have 17 sectors, which gives us 20 megabytes. Going out, I'm not sure whether or not 32-bit mode needs to be on and off. I'm just leaving it. If it doesn't work, we'll go in and turn this off. I'm not sure. And maybe we should, yeah, let's just go out. Out, save changes and exit. And let's reboot and see if we are getting the computer to boot on the floppy disk drive. Let's see, it's turning on, it's making noises. It sees the hard disk, and I can hear, and now I can see it's booting up in Microsoft MS-DOS 5.0, licensed under Olivetti. So let's wait for this to finish, and then let's see if there's something on the hard disk, right? So if I do fdisk, it's in. You won't get into fdisk if it doesn't see a hard disk. So there's a hard disk. So show partitions, number 4. And there's a 20 megabyte FAT16, and the name of the hard disk is called Victoria. So there's a hard disk. Let me go on C:. Let's do dir. We have a working hard disk. Obviously, this is private stuff, so I don't want to go into any of these. I don't know what's this. There's something like WP 5.1. That's most likely WordPerfect 5.1. And Norton Commanders, DOS 5. Yeah, well, at least it's working, so that's fine. Let me take all of this away again. Now we know the hard disk is working. So I think we need to hook the hard disk to the actual computer, which is up there, and see, even though I haven't assembled the laptop back again, let's see if we can boot the computer, the laptop, with this hard disk. I know it's a bit messy, and yeah, well, I'm not pulling everything back in to see if the hard disk is working now that I have opened up everything. So the goal is now to hook up the hard disk and turn on the computer. I hooked the monitor to it and the VGA connector in the back. As you can see, everything has been plugged in. The only thing we need to do before we do anything, this is the battery. The battery is down here and is connected over there. And what I need to do first is we need to test the capacity of the battery. This is the one that will hold the BIOS settings. This must be completely dead. Let's just try and see what it's saying. It's saying 1.48 volt, and we need 3.6, so dead. I actually have another chargeable battery, which actually should be fully charged. So let's just, so that we can continue, let's just test it. Yeah, it's giving me 3.6 actually, 3.7, sorry. So let me put this in. I just need to see, I thought it was, yes. So it goes this way with the red, the positive side on this one. So if we hook this in, and I can double tape it down here later on. So now we have a battery, and as I said, everything is hooked up. So I will, maybe I should find a bootable disk. Just give me a second. I'm completely aware of that you can't see the actual screen. But what I want you to know is that I will, let me find, oh, the other way around, sorry. Actually goes like this. As we saw, when it boots up, the screen turns on, this doesn't turn on. We need to wait until all the BIOS thingy comes up, Once that's done, we can press on the keyboard to get it over here. So we'll need to be patient and wait. Let me hook all this up. There we go. I have the power here. So let me just, oh man, it's turned off. So let's hope we can get into the computer. And as I said, this will take a while for the computer actually to reach that point where we can see anything here. So I'll just turn it on. The lights are blinking. I hear the hard disk is spinning up. So it seems all fine. Let me come back to you once I can get something over here. This one is now doing something. And I just had a peek on the LCD screen. We should be able to go over now. Pressing the function key and F10 should give me a bias. There we are. Yeah, just need to wait for this to go away. There we go. So I'll press 1 for USA. I need to set the clock, F1. I have actually no idea what time it is. 1700. Enter. This is the date, so F2. 26:06. Try again. This is killing me. 26. Why can't I do so? Okay, 06:06. 1999. I don't care. There we go. F3 for the hard disk. This is a 20 megabyte hard disk, so it can only be 1 because 2 is 40, 3 is 100. So it can only be 1. Let me do enter. And then I am supposed to press enter again. It's actually booting up, but it's failing. So let me go here and see if we can. Yeah, so it's failing with the fixed disk arrow. Maybe that was too quick. The hard disk is working. It seems that the BIOS is not, doesn't want to use it. It's gonna be fun. If I do F-disk here, yeah, arrow cannot see any hard disk drives. So what is going on? It seems to be booting. It actually seems to be booting. Let me function F10. It's booting on hard disk because I took out the floppy disk drive. There we go. It's up and running. Wouldn't you know? It's effing working. Well, the BIOS was not happy, well, in the beginning, but I just rebooted it. And then it's working. Yeah, maybe something was not plugged in all the way. I'm not sure. As we can see, if I do exit, what is it? Quit F10 over here to get out of that. Norton Commander. Never liked it at all. And I just want to do WordPerfect. It's actually working. It's working. It's amazing. WordPerfect, how do we get out? Was that F7? Don't save, yes to quit. Perfect. This is amazing. Before I start assembling all this back together again, wish me luck. It's gonna be fun. A lot of screws. I just wanna turn it off. If I can find over here. Unplug it, so I'm sure that there's no power, and then I'll leave this for an hour. I want to see if the battery holds the settings and we then can boot again. So let me just briefly, for you it's a second, for me it's an hour. So let me come back. I'm back. Let's put some power to it, turn it on. And it's booting, it's perfect. Let me go to the monitor over here. And we're up and running. Let's do date. Perfect. So we have a working system. Let me, as I said, put all this back together again. All the bags are empty, so every screw, every knot, everything is in the computer. That's nice. Besides this one, this is the casing underneath it, where the expansion slots could be seen. I just wanted to put this up here. I'm not sure you can see it on the camera though, but there's a huge difference. This is the original color, and this is how, yeah, well, there we go. Took out the battery, put in another battery, and this is actually why I couldn't get it up and boot the first time, because the BIOS needed the battery to keep it, even though you set the hard disk type for type number 1 as it was, because this is a 20 megabyte hard disk, type 2 is 40 megabyte, and type 3, that's gonna be the 100 megabyte hard disk. Huge. But nevertheless, lesson learned, there needs to be a battery that works to keep the settings of the BIOS in order for the hard disk to spin on completely up. There we go. I need to wrap this up. There's still a lot of stuff I would like to do with this computer. Obviously retro bright, that would be a nice thing, right? Maybe even clean it a little bit. But besides that, I also wanted to figure out if we can improve the screen on the computer. But I think I ran out of time, and maybe we'll take this back another day and we'll continue with it. Maybe we can expand it. You can actually put a co-processor, so a ADC 287 you can put in. I thought this was a 12 megahertz. When I looked at the actual CPU, here's an image of the actual CPU. It's not a 12 megahertz, it's a 16. So what's going on there, right? But there we go. Maybe this is the turtle we saw on the keyboard in the beginning. So maybe, yeah, I don't know, a turbo thing you can have. There we go. But nevertheless, it's working, it's running. I had a look and a peek inside it. There are many personal private stuff. So I need to obviously format this hard disk and get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. I hope you enjoyed this brief look at a laptop from Olivetti. I now know why I don't tend to have anything to do with laptops, because they are crazy to work inside them. They are so tiny, everything is so compact. So it's not as easy as it is with the good old Olivetti M211V, right? That's a runner, that's a winner. But this is complicated because it's very close. Nice that it's working though. Yeah, I think this is gonna go back, and I think I just wanna say, please, if you would like to subscribe to the channel. I'm hoping that I'll soon be running into 1,000 subscribers. Maybe we'll make a celebration of that. I don't know. That can take a year too. It's going as it's going, and that's fine. Give me a thumbs up, or if you didn't like this. I prefer this one, obviously. And thank you for staying, and I hope to see you soon again. Goodbye.